People found it and stuff. People found it in the bathroom. Sorry guys, if we can find the live feed, I guess I'll share it wherever it's on my page. Guys, you may just have to go to my page and find it on there because I can never tell how to share it to I did not know when the game today. This is what's going on. The traffic. No, it's okay, guys, think of we are on here. Guys, we want to say thank you for coming in with us today. Give us a moment. We're still trying to get ready here. We want to say welcome to It's a Family Affair here on Fishbowl Radio Network. We are definitely excited about today's show, and we hope that you guys will definitely come on board with us and be sure to share out there with everybody. But y'all, it is a beautiful Saturday evening here in the city of Arlington, Texas, and I think there's a football game going on because there's quite a bit of traffic around here.
Go
so
Cowboys.
Yeah, go Cowboys.
The boys or the Rangers?
I don't know. I was head out there today.
But something is in the way.
Yes, it is. But y'all this is the norm for the city of Arlington. We have to always make room for them, and it looks like there's a Ranger game going on too at the same time. So, well, guys, welcome again to It's a Family Affair here at Fishbowl Radio Network. Guys, we want to remind you all to visit us on the Blue Bowl. And be sure that when you get in there or wherever you at, somewhere share. That's all I got to say. Yeah, wherever you at, make sure you're sharing out there. Well, guys, before we get started, we're going to let Mr. Joe come in, and he's going to share with us the nuggets of the day. And then we're going to try our best to introduce ourselves again, because I think we miss out on that sometimes, and you guys don't know who you're talking to or whatever. But y'all pray for us today, and we're going to see if we can't bring a great show to you all. Mr. Joe?
Absolutely. We want to welcome everybody. My nugget for today is that the man who seeks no truth has nothing to fear from a lie. And I'm saying that the truth, the truth sets you literally free of anything. The truth separates anything, everything is just the truth. And if you can't find the truth right where you are, where do you expect to find the truth? So, in other words, seek the truth.
I like that. It's all about authenticity. I have a saying that when you are authentic, you will meet authentic. And you can't go wrong when you go that way. Well, y'all, Mrs. Faith is going to kind of help us to get in our little audiences and our places. She's going to share with you guys how to get connected, and we're going to come back to you one by one and introduce ourselves on today.
All right, good afternoon, everyone in the family. We are in our living room.
Yes, we are.
And guess what? We have our brother.
Yay!
Everyone asks us, there's 4 folk on the picture. You've already heard 3 people. Well, he's our traveling brother.
Yes,
the Renaissance man, Albino is here amongst us today, and we're going to have fun with you, Albino.
I am so excited. I am looking forward to today's topic. I'm looking forward to the family affair. It is a family affair. And y'all, I am ready to get started. Even beating this traffic.
I know, right?
It's still all right.
I had to go through 35 traffic, 183 traffic, then 360 traffic. And those of you who live in the DFW know what I went through. I said, Lord, lead me and guide me to the fishbowl. Guys, you don't know how much of our heart and soul that we put each week to bring you something to sit with us at the table and be able to eat with us. And we prepare, and we're about excellence and integrity, and we want you all to know that, because that's what we do. That's our character. But I want to just get acquainted so you all can get to our living room. We're on Facebook. We have our own Facebook page now. It's IAFA Radio Show. Please go out and like it so you can stay in contact with us all the time. And then if you're not on Facebook, everybody's not on Facebook, but you can also contact us at www.fbrn.us, and that is the webpage, and just click on the blue stream. Even if you can't hear us live today, we would love for you to go out and you can hear us maybe next week, maybe the next week, or you can hear all of our shows that have been out there already, because we do have them out there for future listening audience. Also, if you would like to jot down our phone number, because in the second hour of our show, we're going to open up the lines today. So you can contact us. I know all of us got long distance, so anybody can call us across the United States.
That's right.
And that number is area code 214-431-5062. So that's how you can get in contact with us and see our shows. I have my phone on Facebook Live right now, so if you want to look at us on Facebook Live, you can actually see us.
Yes.
I'm waving at everybody. I see classmates. I see my brother Chucky. And he says I'm his guardian angel. He's my brother back from the East Coast. So thank you, Chucky, for watching. Rachel, I see Rachel Thurman, Tyler Wright. I can't see everybody, but I got a shout out. 'Cause you know what? I got some faithful friends.
That's
family,
right.
And so we all got a shout out.
Yes.
But just want to introduce myself, and I pass it to my brother to the left, the Renaissance man. I'm Dave Davis. And I'm here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm so happy to be a part of this family, and I hope and pray that you all are feeling like you're part of our family. And I have 3 children and 5 grandchildren, and it seems like the quiver is growing and growing. But I'm just so happy to be here. Okay, Renaissance man.
She calls me Renaissance man for a variety of reasons. Oh, I got to come a little closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, hear me now. Okay, like a commercial. Rock.
Can you hear me
I want to hear you.
They call me, Faith calls me the Renaissance man, and I call myself the journeyman as well, because we're always on the journey. I'm always on the journey. I always knew that just getting through 183 to 121 to 360 to 35, that's a journey in itself. And I have 2 wonderful kids, that's Kai and Jessica. I know I've been out the last couple of shows, but I am here today, and we are focusing on in the moment, and I am looking forward to a great group of family that I love, and it is a family affair, y'all.
Yeah,
it is
it really
family.
is.
And I'm telling y'all, it's nothing like a family reunion.
Yeah.
And that's what we are here to do today, to have a family reunion of just coming together and really sharing on a great topic that I'm looking forward to on today. So
right.
I'm ready. Let's get it cracking.
Get it cracking.
All right. Well, I am Marilyn Pettigrew, and I am a native of Tyler, Texas, and I live here in the Arlington area now. I've been here for the last couple of years. I am the mother of 3 grown, beautiful children, y'all. My oldest son, DeMarcus Bailey, who many of you know as the infamous playwright. I have my son, Ahmad Bailey. You guys hear me talking about him a lot. And then my daughter, Jessica Preston, who is the baker of them all, y'all.
Yes, she is.
I have 4 grandchildren, and I am really, really proud to have those kids. You know, when you get a little older, you know, you think that, okay, the stage of raising kids is over with. Until them grandbabies come, they add a spice that you just cannot explain.
Right.
So I'm really proud of them. I am so glad to be a part of this family here. I have longed to have this particular group for a long time. I think I have been praying about them in the spirit. I think they were there all along. We just had to become manifested in the natural, and to watch God do what he's doing right now, I really am proud of it all. And I hope you guys will really take out the time to get to know us all. Every week when we come in, you guys again are going to get to know a little bit more about us every week. We pull back layer at a time. We can't tell y'all everything, but we pull back layers at a time as you need to know. But you will get to know us in our authentic form. So I'm going to turn it over to my brother, Mr. Joe.
Oh, yes. I'm Joe Williams, and I'm a native of Marshall, Texas. I presently live in Tyler, Texas. I'm a business owner there. Just love the community, love being involved. I am the father of 1 son, Joshua Williams, who lives in Houston, and I have 1 granddaughter, Melania. She also, well, I know she lives in Houston because she's that with me. But just glad to be here. Want to be able to share what we have on our hearts. We have a team here that has a heart for God, and we just want to share what we know, the things we don't know, and the things we learn as we go. We want to just be a voice in the community and all over. And we thank you for coming in and joining us.
Amen.
Let's see. Just like the Cowboys getting ready to start, I guess we need to kick it off.
Yeah.
Well, our topic is today singles, or it could be anybody, really, trust in the process. But
Yeah.
we're really focusing on singles. So all of you out there, get your comments, your questions together for that second half so you can dial in, we can dialogue. We want to be included.
Yeah.
We want you to be
Yes.
included,
That's
because if you're not included, we're just really talking to each other.
That's
And
right.
a
Right.
relationship is about interacting and sharing.
That's
And
right.
so don't forget, all the Facebook fans out there who are looking at us, who's in our living room, please share.
That's
Because
right.
sharing is
Is
caring.
caring.
So trusting the process. Wow.
That's a big topic.
It's a big topic.
Pretty open-ended.
Yeah, it is.
I think we should kick it off by maybe giving a definition from our heart. What does trust mean to you? What does trust mean to you, Joe?
Well, trust actually it kind of says what it is in itself. And I found that the integrity is the foundation of trust.
Yeah.
And so that has to be there. I mean, trust is something you earn. I don't think that has to be earned through situations. And either it's going to be there or it's not. I don't think it's no in between.
Yeah.
And I think it's evident. That's when it's not, and it's evident that's when it is. You will know.
So can we say maybe trust means, like our younger generation says, 100?
Yeah.
100. Yeah.
Keeping it 100.
That's right.
Not 85.
Yeah.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Okay, all right. What about you, Renaissance?
She is gonna mess with him today.
I'm gonna mess with him.
When I think of trust, I think of passing an element of yourself, your virtue, and entrusting it for somebody else to hold on to as it pertains to your life. I think it deals with a lot of relying on, as well as the assurance of that something can be kept and something can be taken care of. So, like if I'm going to give you a family heirloom, then I am assured that you're going to take care of it as well.
That's right.
Yes.
Right.
That makes
That's
sense.
good.
That's good.
Yes, it
See,
is.
y'all, I'm so
We're missing our one over here. Yeah.
No, let me just clarify it for everybody. Alvino wasn't here in the room, in the living room,
Yeah.
but he has been on the line. He's been looking at every single show.
Yeah.
He hasn't been just totally gone away from us.
That's
But
right.
it's always good to have you sit next to me, Vino.
We always end up next to each other.
Big sis and little brother.
That's right. That's right.
That's all.
So, Miss Marilyn, come on with it.
You know what? When I think about trusting the process of things, I think about trusting the unknown. You know, because a lot of times, especially in your single life, we don't always know how to define that, and a lot of times we look at the world system and we define it as being alone or maybe sometimes rejected or, cast out or whatever. But it's really trusting the process of the journey of what God is allowing you to go through and not trying to be in a place quicker than what you really need to. And that's a place where we have to really allow our hearts to be really vulnerable before God. And every time I think about God, you taking me through another stage of taking layers off.
Yeah.
I gotta trust you that as you allowing me to become naked, that I'm not going to fall or I'm not going to get placed in the hands of a rapist or an abuser or a mugger or anything like that. We were having a meeting today, and one of the ladies talked about how men don't always understand what it's like to be a woman, especially when we are out there in the world. She said they would, this was a domestic violence workshop, and she said the question was asked, how many times do men get asked the question, what are you afraid of being raped, or are you afraid of things like that? And their answer is no, because they don't have to look out for things like that. But us women, she really brought it in. She said everywhere we go, we're having to watch our back. We go to the grocery store, we got to make sure we park in the right place. We got to make sure that, we're not too close to different cars. We have to make sure we got our keys in our hand. We have a lot to think about. And it's a place where, we can't hold all that stuff. We got to learn how to trust God somewhere in the process of it all, or else we'll lose our mind. So it is our own definition of what it is that we are trusting and what we are needing, really. So singleness just happens to be one of those little tabs in our life that we got to put a stamp on to say, God, I trust you even in the midst of this too.
Trust God to keep you too.
Yeah.
Keep you, because when you start getting into those kind of places where if you don't appreciate your singleness, you're gonna find yourself in all types of relationships. You're gonna find yourself into not God ordained places, not God identified places, and also God's anointed places. And you want to be with the one that God has called you to be with.
Amen.
And if you're not with that one, you have to trust God. It takes a faith level to believe in your single.
Alvino, that is so true, because I just so happened to be talking to quite a few people this week about they're in unhealthy relationships, all because they jumped the process.
That's right.
Sometimes finances, sometimes just loneliness, a lot of that, and now they're dealing with the kind of the backlash of not waiting on God. Because when you really are, if you are seeking someone to be a part of your future, a part of your destiny or whatever, you don't know what your destiny holds. So you're going to have to wait on God to bring the right person in. You don't know if sickness is going to be there. You don't want the wrong person in your life, and they abandon ship if you get sick or whatever. You have a financial crisis going on, and what do? I'm out of here. I heard some people say, I ain't sign up for that.
That's exactly what happens on the other side.
Yes. So you have to trust and wait on God to say, all right, God, you already know down the road what's going to take place. You know what my children are going to need. You know what we're going to need individually. And we have to wait on Him with that.
Well, let me ask y'all this. Why do you think that more people don't trust the process?
Well, I think a lot of it is, again, what we are saying. Some people go from one relationship to the next, to the next. Those people are called love junkies.
Ooh.
That's called love junkies.
Did you say
you get that down?
Love junkie. What is a love junkie?
A love junkie is a person that's afraid to be by themselves. So they got to have somebody around. And that's what I'm saying. They fall in that.
They fall in love with love.
If you want to call it that. It's just to have a pet. Have some britches sometimes. Just a male, and it may not really be.
Britches?
Some britches.
Some britches.
That's just somebody there. And then too, they may not be there to help no situation. It is there.
That's right.
And that's not good. In situations, you have to slow yourself down and work on you sometimes.
That's right.
And most people don't want to do that.
Joe, what are some of the things that you really believe that God is requiring us to work on in that phase?
You require, first of all, you have a relationship with Him. Make you a better person. I mean, you got to rely on Him and spend time with Him. And part of it is stop devaluing yourself.
Ooh, say that again.
You devalue yourself.
Can you go in and define that a little bit? Go deeper into that.
No value in yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to compromise all the time. And find some value in yourself by going to the Heavenly Father. He tells you you're valuable. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You got to believe that within yourself. But it takes time of spending time with. If you haven't been spending time with Him, it's obvious. And when you get into the realm to know that I'm valuable, and when I know that I'm valuable, I don't have to get in a rush. I work on me.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
people find you. You don't have to look for them.
That's right. That's right.
Because if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same result.
That's right.
Somewhere you got to know, I got to do something different.
That's right.
I don't know what will make you do it or whatever, but
Yeah.
you got to get to the point of not devaluing yourself.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
some self-respect.
Yeah, and you know what, Joe? I was listening to what you were saying. We don't know what it takes to get us there. Sometimes we find ourselves in some rough spots that we wish we hadn't gotten into, and then what are we doing? Begging God to come get us.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, Lord, help me, Lord. Help me.
And that comes with a lot of our own personal choices of what we feel like. And that, like the Bible says, when we lean to our own understanding,
Yes, sir.
then we are bound to fall short
That's
every
right.
time.
That's
and,
right.
and when you don't learn how to bring and let God develop your character,
Oh, develop.
you got to let Him develop, and that comes with the process.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
That
yeah.
comes with time. Anything that you have to process out, it requires time.
Time.
That's
Either
right.
you're going to be a microwave in life,
Come
or
on.
you're going to be a conventional oven.
That's right.
And everything
that's
that's cooked in the oven always turn out real good.
Yeah.
Why? Because you have to keep looking at it and inspecting it.
Yeah.
But in the microwave, you got to wait 30 seconds and then it's done. No, Then you got to, then another 30 seconds, I'm over here in a relationship. Another 30 seconds, I'm over here. And as long as you keep making choices in yourself, you're going to continue to lean and lean and lean till you're going to fall short every time. And then God can't build off of that until you fall into the ground and you say, God, I give up. Whatever it is you want me to do. When you start saying yes to His will, then He starts giving you the character
Yeah.
of what fits in His will. And then you start developing your life as He intended.
Mm-hmm.
Then when somebody come along, you're not so quick to say, oh, well, I need you. Oh, I need you. The ladies, a lot of ladies are quick doing that. Some guys,
Yeah.
And when you start finding yourself saying you need them in such a way that you don't need God, then you are slowly losing who you are.
Yeah.
And you're becoming what they need you to be.
That's
And
right.
not what you're supposed to be.
You know, Sunday we were in service, and Bishop, he's on. I go to the Potter's house, and he's talking about the tabernacle.
Mm.
And Sunday he talked about build according to plan.
Yes.
Jeez.
Don't put nothing in there that don't need to go in there.
That's right.
All right.
And you'll get the right results that
That's
you
true.
need. But a lot of times what we do is we go in and we figure, oh, well, my mama had that in hers,
Mhm.
or my uncle had that in his, and we started building according to what other people are building, and then we don't actually get what we need
That's right.
because we really didn't build from an authentic
That's
plan. Faith, can you share with us how you would, just thinking back down memory lane, whether it was right or whether it was wrong, we all being put on the spot. We passing the baton.
I said, okay, finish your statement. Say it
Building
again.
according to plan. Are there any things that when you look back in life and you think about, God told me to go right and I went left. God told me to say no and I said yes. I didn't build according to plan.
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah,
Did he call me? Oh yeah, it's been times. I was talking about this maybe an hour before it came here today. When you know that the Holy Spirit indwells in you, and you hear His voice, and when you know that you shouldn't do what you want to do, and you should move on the way He wants you to move,
That's right.
and you deny it, you close your ears off into the direction, and when you make that decision, you will reap whatever comes your way.
Yeah.
And guess what? You can't holler and say, God help me, because He tried.
Yes.
He tried to help you,
No, that's
and
right.
you didn't yield.
That's
You
right.
know, sometimes we need to learn how to yield to the
Yeah.
Holy Spirit, yield to God, yield. And guess what? The Holy Spirit is not always talking to you in
That's right.
a voice that we know. The Holy Spirit can yield to someone else to bring wisdom to
That's
you.
right.
You know,
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
always in that form or fashion. So we have to really listen to whomever God sends our way and take it in and assess it, and if it's valued, then you keep it. If not, you discard
That's
it.
right.
But oh yeah, it's been many times I've done, you know,
Yeah,
I
that's
did
right.
things like that where I should not have done, and I think it's called a learning process.
Yeah.
A life's
Learning
journey.
curve.
Yeah.
You know, you go down a lot of different paths, and once you hit your head a couple of times,
That's right.
sometimes some people hit it more than a couple. But you know, it's a learning process, and until you get it, you know, actually get it, then you know you go through that process. But through singleness, oh yeah, I hit my head a lot. I mean, because singleness is more than just a relationship. It's living. It's living in a whole different dispensation, a whole different realm that I've never lived in before, because I left my parents' house and went right into marriage. So I never lived a single life, meaning that I'm responsible for me.
That's right.
Because my parents were paying for my college, paying for
Yeah,
my
yeah.
apartment, you know, all that. And then I went straight into marriage, had kids, you know. But even when I went into marriage, I still wanted to be single.
Okay. And
And
Tell the truth.
let me tell you why. Because daddy and mommy always were there to bring what I needed.
Yeah.
Not what we needed,
What we needed.
I needed. So
Yeah.
I called Daddy. Guess what? I want. Can you give me these shoes? I want this dress. I want,
Yeah.
or whatever. And he had to stop me.
Yes.
He said, "Babe, you're disrespecting your husband.
Yeah.
Number one, because you are one now. You're married.
That's right.
I don't have to take care of you
Right.
anymore."
That's right.
And that's why it's important that you know whomever you marry,
Right.
that they can take care of you in the fashion in which your daddy took
Yeah.
care of you.
Which
So-
you desire.
or what you
Yeah.
desire to
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So I had to make adjustments, and I had to stop that. But that was definitely having a single mentality, but even being married.
Yes,
Yeah.
You know, so that's a shout out for someone that is contemplating marriage,
That's
or
right.
either engaged or going. You got to take that singleness mindset off of you,
That's
and you
right.
have to think about oneness, one flesh.
Yeah. So Faith, that's one of those things when we talk about God building your character. You have to be ready to leave and cleave.
That's right.
When you talk about marriage,
Yes.
or when you go into even just being, I'm grown. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You got to leave and cleave to whatever it is you're trying to be grown to. You know, and sometimes we haven't cut away different things from us, like, you know, having it our way. I've heard countless times where singles have, or individuals have gone into marriage and they ran into trouble because they did not cut that part that was maybe getting everything they wanted when they wanted it, because they could have married someone that did not grow up like that,
That's right.
and they were all about, you know, hey, life is not easy like that, and we have a tug of war going on
That's
in
right.
our lives. So when we're single, those are some things that we have to recognize. So a lot of times when you're out there, say for instance you're dating or whatever, you're still getting acquainted with yourself.
Yes,
You
you are.
can't always say, well, this is the one or that's the one, because I may not know who I am just yet,
Yes, that's
because you know I don't know. I know what Daddy did, and I
Right.
know how Daddy treated me or didn't
Right.
treat me.
Right.
So sometimes we got to get those things taken off of us and let God build our character in those ways as well.
Yes.
So
And then brother, a lot of times what we do in that whole process is that we take our pain into other places
yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
that we
yeah.
don't deal with. That's part of the process too.
Yeah.
Of letting go of your pain,
Yeah.
of past relationships, even past things of what you may have grew up in, or what you got the misunderstanding of in the relationship of being raised as a father or mother raised you.
Right.
A lot of times we take those pains in and we try and build that a part of our character, and that has to be processed out.
That's right.
Like you said, when you're so used to being selfish, when you're so used to doing it all by yourself, and then you get with somebody else, everything about relationship is about sacrifice.
Exactly.
Everything, even a relationship with God, you have to sacrifice time. You have to sacrifice attention to Him.
That's
And
right.
when you get into a relationship, it's no longer about you first.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
You
right.
are like the second and third
Yes.
party, depending on if kids involved and all
Yeah.
that. You are like the last on the totem pole.
That's right.
And it's always about giving out. So if you're not in a single place where you're already giving out, then chances are you are probably not ready
Yes.
for
Yeah.
a relationship already.
Now, Vino, wouldn't you think that our relationship with God starts off like that?
Absolutely.
That you got to give there first.
Yeah,
That's what
absolutely.
Joe was talking about. That's what we need to start. We skipped that step.
Yeah.
We're not trying to get all of that stuff
Yeah,
started.
yeah,
So
yeah.
when we find people that are individuals that are selfish, it's possibly because they skipped that step of what? Their relationship with God.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we got to send them back, send them on back down
Send
the
them back
line.
to sender. Send them back to
Yeah, we have a
sender.
caller that's coming. We did have a caller. They keep calling in. So, y'all, if you call back, we will catch you the next time.
Yes.
So, Joe, what do you think about it?
Oh, well, yeah, we. It's amazing. But you know, even as a single person, first of all, your life is on your shoulders. You got to take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
It starts with you.
That's
You
right.
got to. You got to carry that. You have to carry that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were doing this and that's not work, you got to do something different.
Do something different.
And start with growing up. You know,
Yeah.
we got to grow up in
Yeah.
this.
Arguing and all that kind of
Yeah.
things that we learn in our homes.
Yeah, you got to grow up. It's
Yeah.
just that simple, you know, and stop. You got to wonder, when people come in your life, first of all, you need to ask the question, are they a fertilizer or are they a rock?
Say it again, Joe.
Are they a rock?
You got to explain
Ask
that.
that question, and then
fertilizer
wait.
what?
A rock.
A rock.
A rock.
Oh.
Explain.
A rock. There's nothing growing a rock. I'm a rock.
I like
They're
those
keeping
songs.
you from growing.
Oh, okay.
Got a rock on you.
Wow.
But a fertilizer will put something under you and grow. Then you can grow together.
Wow.
And the way you find that out is don't get in a hurry. What's in a hurry? Fuck! You don't need to get in a hurry.
Yeah.
I mean, some people get in a hurry, and when you get in a hurry, like we was talking, that's when you make mistakes.
That's when you make mistakes.
Uh-oh.
Exactly.
What's
Slow
in a
down.
hurry?
Slow down.
Yeah, slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't seem like you're so desperate.
That's it
And
right
people
there.
can know when you're desperate.
I was just fixing to say that. Is that a turn off?
Yeah, it depends on the man.
You know, some people like desperate
It's okay,
people
yeah,
because they can get what they want to from them. But if you don't have a dependence upon yourself, then you'll give
You'll find anything.
that you'll be giving cars up to what's that movie called Baby Boy?
Jody.
You'll be giving your car up to Jody.
Yeah.
You'll be giving Jody money, and I don't recommend any woman give a man money.
Yeah.
That's a no-no.
That's a
to me.
no-no.
Because if a man can't take care of you and you're always giving to him, then what kind of security will he provide for your life beyond just the moment?
Exactly.
Come on now.
Exactly.
What can he provide beyond the moment of a dinner date or Netflix and chill, as a lot of young folks say?
That's
When
right.
if that's all we got, then that's all you're going to have.
Yeah.
He's sitting at the house on the couch all the time while you working. I don't endorse it at all.
You know, there's I don't know if you guys have ever listened to this guy, Bishop David Evans. And he has this book called Dare Them to Be a Man.
Wow.
Dare Them to Be a Man. And I think the first time that I heard that, he really went into saying that the makeup of a man from God is to be a provider already.
Yes,
Whether that mother has allowed him to be one as a little boy or not, but it's in him to be a provider. But if you keep stepping in the way, guess what he's going to do? He's going to keep leaning to the easy. All of us would like to have life easy, but we have to dare them to grow up. And I think that is one of my missions in life, is to teach women how to dare that man to be the man that God has called you to be, whether it be your sons or whatever, whatever it is, and be that provider, be that one that they will be proud, that Proverbs 31 woman, that speaks of her husband well in the city, those types of things. But a lot of times I think we have been conditioned that everybody needs some help.
Come on, man.
You know, instead of allowing him to come in and be that provider that he needs to be from the beginning. And then that woman can take her rightful place in the relationship.
Yeah.
And you know what she does? She relaxes. She can be that woman that she needs to be.
That's
But
right.
a lot of times what I have noticed that men are not grasping is that they say things like, well, she's not down for me, or, you know, she doesn't care for me because she doesn't do that. No, you're out of your place.
That's right.
All right.
You're out of place,
That's
and
exactly
she's trying to get you to be in your place
Right.
so that she can respect you that
That's right.
way.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, guess what she's gonna do? She's gonna keep it moving.
She got to.
She's got to keep it moving. So
And you know this, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to.
go ahead.
But
Tina.
listen, I tell women, I say there's 4 parts that a man should have, and I'm working on this in a book, y'all. Y'all keep praying for that.
Okay.
But it's 4 parts that a man should have. He should be God-fearing, he should be a provider, he should be a father, and he should be a husband.
Yeah.
Most men carry 3 or 2 of these parts. They're either working or they're fearing God, but they don't want to work, or they don't believe in being a good father or a husband. And if you don't have a man with those 4 parts, then chances are those are areas where he lacks that from an experience.
Yeah.
And if you got that experience, then you don't want that, because that's the area you're going to have to wait on in the process.
You gotta say that.
That book
Yeah.
needs to come out.
It needs to come on out.
Yeah.
I'm working with you.
Yeah.
I'm working with you. Y'all keep praying. And I truly believe that, you know, coming back to what we're talking about, the process is that when we learn how to trust the process, ladies, when y'all learn how to trust the process, that you can't make a man
No.
be a man.
Be a man.
No.
If you sit here and gotta ask him, why come you can't love me? It's because it ain't in him already.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
And that means you gonna have to
You
wait
gotta
for it.
teach him, and you can't teach
And I
him.
don't believe in
No,
marrying to potential.
no,
You
yeah.
shouldn't have to pray for things like he should be compassionate, a communicator,
Yeah.
understanding. Those are not things you should have to even solicit to God.
Yeah.
Because they should already
Already
have them.
be.
Right.
If you got to pray that to God, then chances are they either not ready or they not the one.
That's exactly right.
Come on.
And this hard talk today.
Okay, you know.
It's real talk. Yeah.
Real talk.
That's right.
It is.
That's right.
That is
Real
true.
talk.
That was this gentleman that a pastor that came to Tyler, and y'all, I heard this message probably about 10 years ago, and he talked about how he said that he and his nephew would go out to lunch every time, or dinner every time they came together. He said, and every time they went to dinner, his nephew would order soup, and he said it never fails. Every time he ordered the soup, the nephew would send the soup back. And so he asked him finally, nephew, why do you always send that soup back every time? He said, Uncle, soup is intended to be hot. Because one, while they're getting ready to prepare my meal, I can take my time eating my soup, and I don't have to rush them to bring my food. Now, if they bring my soup out too early and the soup is too cold, guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be rushing them to bring the order in. So what I do is I make them get it right. I send the soup back every time. He says sometimes in life, we need to be like that soup, waiting on that real meal to come. If that soup does not come in the way that it was intended to come, send it back
That's
every
right.
time.
That's
And
right.
it's nothing wrong with that, because what you're doing, you're teaching them how to treat you.
That's
And
right.
sometimes that may be a hard thing, because we're waiting in a single phase, and
Right.
oh God, this might be the last one, and he looked like the real thing, she looked like the real, oh, she's pretty, she got some brown eyes on, you know, she got that creamy color, skin and all of that, but her soup is too cold.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
the
right.
soup is just too cold, and
That's right.
you're going to be rushing them to bring the rest of it out
Yes, ma'am.
because they're not prepared properly
Sure.
the way that they need
Yes,
to.
ma'am.
So,
It is a situation where the outside looks good, but
Yeah.
there's no substance on the
Nothing
inside.
on the inside,
And that's
yeah.
what you got to deal with.
Yeah.
That person, the true person, is on the inside.
That's right,
And
that's
if they're
right.
they're giving you what you got. You just got to be able to see it.
That's right.
And you have to look past all the glamour and
Yeah.
all of that, because that's, we understand pretty people are dime a dozen.
yeah.
Here's one, here come another. But you gotta have more than that. That's like a freight train.
Yeah.
You miss it. I mean, you
Come on
look.
now.
All you gotta do, you look. They got cute dogs. They got cute this. This is cute everywhere.
That's
They
right.
don't have any substance.
Substance
When they
inside.
open their mouth, how do they treat people?
Jeez.
How do they talk?
Yeah.
I mean, they tell people like they talk to people like they got 4 or 5 tails and all that. All of that's important. If it's important to you, then it needs to be important to
That's
that
exactly
relationship.
right.
And if they're talking to them people like that, what do you think they're gonna do to you?
And have you ever heard a man talk rough to his mother?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And you wondered whether he was going to talk rough or nice to you?
That's right.
You shouldn't have to wonder.
You shouldn't have to
That's
wonder.
right.
Yes.
You should
That's
say
how
you wouldn't want to be.
Yeah.
One of the questions you should ask yourself is, where did he get that from? Because a lot of times what you see him do his mother do is from something that he's seen a man or his father do as well. And so you're quietly putting into the process a cycle.
Yes.
You're quietly putting into the process of the relationship of cycle.
Yeah.
So if you see how he talks to you ladies and he talked to you rough, chances are he got it from a seed from somebody.
That's right. That's right.
So now you need to ask yourself, don't ask yourself, why is he talking to me that way? Ask him, where did he get that talk from? Because
Where did it originate?
because it got processed in.
Yes.
Sure did.
You see, process either goes in or it goes out.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we got to figure out which one is incorporated into our single.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's good.
Y'all, we all know that we lost one of our major icons in the community,
yeah.
just in the
Oh,
world,
yeah.
period.
That's right.
Mrs. Aretha Franklin, we call her the Queen of Soul.
Queen of Soul.
And one of her favorite songs was what? R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Find out what it means.
And find out what it
Find out
means
what
to
it
me.
means, yeah,
And when
yeah.
we go back and read the story about Aretha, that was really a personal message that she put out because of abuse that was taking place even in her relationship. And guys, isn't it amazing how sometimes we think some of the roughest things that we go through in life is going to be the end of the world, but look at what that song is still going from. I mean, all years and years and years.
It's an anthem in some places.
Yeah,
You know?
my granddaughter comes home the other day and she said, Granny, did you know that Aretha Franklin died? And I said, what do you know about Aretha Franklin? She said, Granny, R-E-S-P-E-C. And she's just 14 years old, so we all want that respect in our lives. So speaking of the icon or the Queen of Soul, man, let's go switch subjects just a little bit. Did y'all have any favorite songs growing up that you heard that Miss Aretha sang and it just kind of blew you out the waters a little bit?
Babe?
Well, let's see. My favorite song was Natural Woman. And I'm not going to sing it. But it was written, it was so powerful because that song, Natural Woman, was written by Carole King. And when she got awarded at the Kennedy Center, Aretha came out on the stage with her minx coat, full length, and sat at the grand piano and played the song.
She played that
Carole
song.
King, and Carole King just cried. But I took the time to look up some words about this natural woman that she talked about, and you know how you can write something, Albino, and someone can sing it and bring the meaning of what that song is to a clarity that's none other. But I think Aretha, and that's just my interpretation, I think that when she sang Natural Woman, that it was somebody, a man in her life that made her feel natural. Because she's a star, she was she had notoriety and everything. She was rising up, but in those small times when you have a relationship that you just want to be natural. You just want to be like everybody else, common. And so it came down, it brought her down to a place where she could feel, again, because it says, because you make me feel. You make me feel. You make me feel like a natural woman. Not a hot-sedated woman, but a natural woman. I got everything in me that everybody else has. And I have a heart, I have feelings, I have pain, I have sorrow, I have all those natural feelings. But what you do You make me feel like a natural
That's
woman.
right.
You make me feel so good inside.
That's right.
You know,
That's
it's
right.
got the inside, how you feel internally.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when you feel good internally,
Yeah.
it'll show externally.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I love that natural woman.
Yeah.
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 Vino, did you have a favorite one that you love to listen to? And I can only imagine what Vino like listening to.
Oh, I love me some Rita.
Yeah.
You know they person when you take that A off of there, just say Rita. Rita.
Really?
And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I love that song Until You Come Back to Me.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
when you start, if you go back and listen to that song, I think Layla Hathaway redid it as well.
Yes,
and she kept saying, I'm gonna rap on your love, tap on your window
Yeah,
pane. She
yeah,
said, you don't call me anymore. She talks about the missing place
Yeah.
of somebody in her life.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not gonna give up. That was one thing I loved about Rita, is that she had an ability to reach people with her voice.
That's right. That's right.
It's just so legendary, and it's so authentic
That's
and so
right.
set apart that when she was singing that song, I just said, "Oh, I'm coming to you, Rita. I'm coming to you." Oh, Lord, this is
Get it right. Get it right.
She had a way of moving your soul, because that song, when you start running into these soul singers the way they are, they have a way of just saying, "Oh, that's for me."
That's right. That's
And you
right.
lift that hand up, and I know you ain't in church, but "Oh, that's for me." And you make and that song right there, it just, I could put it on repeat, and I could just drive down the road.
I know,
all
I know.
day. And that's a song that just stuck out
Yeah.
to me and just
Yeah.
stayed with me.
Yeah, yeah.
Marlon, what was your favorite?
Oh my God, y'all, let me tell you, she sung that song, Rock Steady Baby.
Oh,
Yeah. This song ain't what it say, we call it exactly like it is,
Yeah.
what it is, what it is. Y'all, I tell you, that song there, I think in some of my lowest times, when I would listen to that song, I could get in my car and I could literally ride for hours and hours and hours and just think, Marilyn, you just need to rock steady in the midst of this. You know, whatever it is that you're going through, you just need to, rock steady and don't worry about what's going to happen in life, and just know that God is going to work it out all in the end. So that was my favorite song, Rock Steady. And then I think I like on Soul Train when, that something got she was moving. You know, I think Stella got a groove. You know, like Stella got a groove. That's my Stella song.
Yeah.
Didn't we have a dance called the Rocksteady?
Rocksteady. Yeah, it sure was. It sure was, Faith. It sure
That's way
was.
back. I'm really dating that.
Yeah. Mr. Joe, what was your favorite song?
Well, I kind of like Respect.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a lot there. I mean, it talks about, you can tell it was a situation with her. And, a lot of the songs we hear come from a painful place.
Yeah.
But it also lets you relate to your situations. Respect is just what it is. It spells it out. But, if you want respect, you got to give respect as well.
Right.
And if you have to, take it back.
That's right.
Take your respect.
Say that again.
Demand your respect. You don't allow people just to do you any kind of way. No. I mean, if it's not a respectable situation, then you need to get away from that.
That's right.
It's just not good for you. That's that rock I'm talking about.
Right.
Ain't no fun out there.
Ain't no fertilizer.
Ain't no fertilizer there.
Yeah.
I mean, so you need to just remove yourself from that
From those situations.
and get your feet back under you again.
Wow.
And you can.
I think that's one song we all have identified with at some time.
Absolutely.
It's just,
Absolutely.
it's R-E. If I got to spell it out to you, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. That's what it means to me.
It's serious.
Yeah.
Because you're not hearing it.
Yeah.
So I need to break it
it
out.
out.
Yeah, I got to bring it to you. Then listen, Linda, listen.
I like that. I
And
like
then
that.
I can show you better than I can tell you.
Come on now.
Yeah,
You must be from
exactly.
Mississippi. Let me show me.
Y'all, we are definitely gonna miss Mrs. Aretha, but I tell you, I believe her legend will go on for years and for years and for years. And she will be in homes and, for even to our children as they're growing up. And I don't think it's one that we'll let her down in any kind of way. Just thank God for her contribution in the earth. And
thank you, Lord.
we just thank God for it. Well, guys, I think we're going to take a break for a minute, and we're going to kind of get our composure back together again, and we're going to see if we can't take some callers after this and be ready to maybe see what the callers got to say, and see if we can't answer some. So guys, if you just hang in there with us, we're going to kind of go to some commercials for just a little while, and we look forward to Miss Faith is going to kind of tell you guys what needs to be done.
Okay, all of our Facebook friends, if you are on the line right now, we want you to share. Just take a break for a minute. Please stay with us. But when we come back, we'd like for you to call in at area code 214-431-5062. And we'll be right back with you.
But I might sit down. Oh, sorry.
Just that you can still play.
That was good, John.
Yes, a good flow. Good flow.
Oh, yes.
I guess they're advertising will come on the phone just a little bit.
That was Cindy that called. I know it was. I told her 540 instead of 640.
Oh, did
I
you?
said, charge
What's
it
her
to my
number?
head.
What's her number, baby?
I don't have her number, but I just sent her a message to ask her to call back.
Okay, all right.
At 640. Now 540.
640.
Hey everybody!
Hey!
Hi! We're here.
We are here.
We're just taking a little break. We want y'all to still stay with us. Can you the right number? Okay, I'm gonna give you the right number again, Dad. Okay, 214-431-5062. Okay, that's the number where you can call in, and that's the area code 214-431-5062. If you can't get through, please let us know. Send me a message so we can fix it, okay? All right, we want you to call in. All you young single ladies and gentlemen, please come. Oh, okay, write it. Okay, I'll write it. Let me just put this down, and I'll get on my little iPad and write it.
I'll text it in the Facebook.
You gonna put it in the page?
Yeah, I'll
In the
text it
Facebook page?
I got you.
Okay, thank you, Elvino. It's good to have a brother here with me. It's good. On my side over here today, I'm trying to do the selfie stick, y'all. I'm not used to the selfie stick. I'm trying to get it right.
No worries.
Okay, I think we got it going on now.
I'm trying to think I went off a little early.
All righty, righty. Can I have a minute, please? Thank you.
Oh, y'all, that's been a good flow.
I like the way y'all talk. Y'all do good. I said, y'all do good.
Well, we better.
I'm going to leave you out.
Better.
I'm always
How you going to leave the
I'm always
judge
getting
there?
factor because I always try and factor myself out of it.
That's what you do. You drop it. You dropping the mic. So you come in. You
drop
do the
that
mic
mic
drop.
moment.
Yeah, he's dropping all these nuggets. So I know y'all want Elvino to be here every week.
Go to our page.
Yeah, what is it? What is our
It's a
page?
family affair. Lord Jesus.
Lord
We
Jesus.
still imperfect. But
Yeah,
we don't get
yeah,
it
we're gonna get it
It's our
together.
page.
We're gonna get it together. We got our
Jesus,
page.
help me.
Come on, Elvino, help us
I
out
think
now.
it's
What's our page?
It's a, what is it? It's something show.
No, it's IAFA Radio Show. That's our Facebook page, okay?
Help me.
All right.
On the blue screen.
In the blue screen. No.
Oh, no, that's on that's
Facebook, Elvino.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
on Facebook, we on IAFA Radio Show.
Go like us.
Come like us and share it. Because we here every Saturday, 5 to 7, Central Standard Time. You're on the East Coast, I can't help you out right now. If you're on the West Coast, you're on your own. Just tell them click on when you get on. So somebody you know in California, somebody calling you.
You know what?
If you're on the East Coast, it's actually 401 right now. Yeah.
So that means it will come on at 3.
All right, guys. All right, y'all ready to go back in? Because I don't think the...
Hey, love you too, Grace. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Kelly, can you call Cheryl and tell her I'm on the air, please? On Saturday from 5 to 7, I am not available. Okay, I'm not available.
All right, y'all, we're going back in.
Thank you, Kel.
All right, guys, we want to say welcome back again. Thank you all for hanging in there with us. We have to take a little bit of a break to try to get some commercials going on out there, but this has been a wonderful setting talking about singles, and I think we speak about it well because it's a part of our lives. It's something that we live every day.
Miss Marilyn, we have some new Facebook family that just joined into the show, so I wanted to just acknowledge.
Okay.
We see you out there. Thank you for joining in, everybody. And then also, if you could just be so kind, just as family members are, please share.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring. Thank you so much.
As you guys can tell, we love to have fun in here, and y'all, I don't know, y'all, I wake them sometimes up at night sending messages up to our messenger page. And this morning, I didn't go to bed. I haven't been to sleep yet, but I will get there soon. But last night when I laid down, I wanted to go back and hear our broadcast from last night, and oh my God, I love the clarity of it, and and I hope that our callers will go back if they miss part of it, because I know sometimes you can't listen to the whole thing, but go back out there and pick up the podcast, and guys, you can go to www.sfbrn.us and go to the blue stream, and you'll have to go into the alphabet and go into It's a Family Affair, and you can scroll all the way down to the bottom and you can pick up the podcast.
Okay, so you won't see us. It won't be on.
It won't be at the top.
Live at the top, but you can
all the way to the bottom.
Yeah, the audio.
Exactly.
Oh, how does it sound? Does it sound clear?
Oh my God, it sounds so clear.
Really?
I'm so proud of. I mean, it just really is. You could tell that there's a good family connection with us all, and that's what we're trying to bring to you guys. Quality work every time we come. Even though this is something that we do from the heart, we have to remember this is a business also. And one of the things that we want to pride ourselves of is making sure that we are in our business arena when it comes down to the things of God. God doesn't like sloppy stuff, and we don't want to be sloppy either. You know, even in the way we dress, whatever, we don't want to be like the status quo of everybody else. We set our own tone, we set our own rhythm, because this is how we want to be known as. So, yeah. But Miss Faith, you got something you want to share with our audience before we open up and start taking calls?
I want to hear our call. I want to hear our callers, our family members out there. I want to get some feedback. What do y'all think about singleness? We haven't really talked about process. You know, the Lord led on my heart, and I pray that I'm obedient. But I have a book inside of me.
Okay.
And I'm just going to let it out now. It's called Enduring the Process. And I really feel like we are living testaments of enduring our different processes and journeys. And I think we need to document some of these journeys that we've been on and how we endured it, how we were we got the victory, how we are overcoming, because sometimes that's all some people have. Everybody doesn't have a family or points of contact that can go and get good guidance, good wisdom, we need that, and
Yeah.
it
Yes,
needs to
yes,
be documented.
That's
so
right.
Yes.
That's right.
I'm praying and hoping that that book will
Yes.
eventually come out,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
and all of you all will be a part of it.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen. Yeah.
And during the
That
process.
sounds
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that's something that I believe all of us have something that we're working on personally
Yeah.
in this process that we're in. And I think one of my journeys now, one of my biggest struggles that I can say in life has been I didn't like being single. In my earlier days, I just didn't.
Okay.
I was used to that family setting,
Yeah.
and I wanted my children to grow up in a home with a mother and a father and things
Sure.
like that. And I think a lot of times on my pursuit to have that, I got in God's way a whole lot of times, and end up slowing up my process along the way. And it's only been until lately that I have stopped to say, you know what, God, I'm enjoying this.
That's right.
God is bringing people into my life that's literally bringing healthy nuggets to me.
Sure.
You know, that's not sugarcoating anything
That's right.
with me.
Right.
That's bold enough to say, you know, okay, Marilyn, you may need to look at it this way. Because I really believe that God loves us enough that when we yield ourselves over to Him,
Yes.
He can send the right people in, because He knows who you will listen to.
Right.
And most of the time, we listen to His Word.
Okay.
When the Word comes to us,
Yes.
guess what we'll do? We respond to the Word.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I think that is one of the things that I want to dedicate the rest of my life to,
That's right.
is that I share with other ladies, don't take shortcuts in life.
No.
You know,
No, walk the process.
Yeah, take that process
That's
through,
right.
and let God bring some healthy people into your life. Because if you live your life in a mode of struggle all the time, you're going to choose in your struggle.
That's right.
And you know, you may be almost out of it, but because you didn't wait for that little bitty
Right.
finishing rise
Right.
to come in, you came in and jumped the gun with things, and then guess what happens? You got to get back in line all over, and that's something that I have not enjoyed. And some of the experiences that I've had has been, I've had to learn some hard lessons in life.
Yes.
Some really, really hard lessons in life that many times, I don't know about you guys, but I noticed that as the seasons are changing in life, there is a window of opportunity that's there.
That's right.
In a lot of ways.
Yes.
But depending on how hungry and how thirsty and how tired you are, sometimes you pick the first opportunity that comes instead of waiting on your harvest to come in. I believe you should know what you want on the inside. That's where we go from that, learning how to move from the different stages of where we are. I can't remember the stages right now, but sometimes when we are waiting on the desires of our heart,
Okay.
I think we ought not put too much expectation on things. Don't assume a lot of
That's
things.
exactly right.
Don't assume that everything's going to come packaged the way that you
That's
want it
exactly
to,
right.
but allow God to bring it the way He wants to bring it in life. So through those struggles, I've learned how, all right, God, nevertheless,
That's right.
not my will,
Yeah.
but let your will be done. And
That's
I'm noticing now that I'm waiting on God, there's a glow that's on my face.
Okay, come on.
There's a glow that's in my heart.
Yes, it
And
is.
guess what'll happen? That man, guess what he's going to do? He's going to find his good thing.
Oh, ain't no question.
And when he finds that good thing, you'll be ready for him when he gets there.
That's that
So,
way to glory.
you hear me? It's
That's
a
that-
way to
that's-
glory. ain't
God will
it?
give you a glory in your way. Come
Yes,
on now. And
yeah.
it'll turn into some substance for your
Yes,
life.
yes.
When you realize, man, if I just waited one more day,
Yeah.
one more person, if I said no to one more person
Yes,
that I
yes.
thought was almost it. We
Yes.
get our almost mixed up
Yes.
with the one.
That's right.
In a lot. And you don't just want a mate,
That's
you want
right.
the
The
mate.
mate.
That's
Because you can get a mate, and
Yeah.
it may be substantial,
Yeah.
and it may falter.
Yeah.
But when you get the mate,
Yeah.
they cover every area of your life, and you cover every area of their
Yeah, I
life.
believe
And that's
that.
where a lot of people they keep falling short because they keep getting the Sauls in their life. If you ever know
better
the
talk
King
about it.
Saul,
Yeah.
King Saul was selected by the people.
Yeah.
But David was selected
By
by
God.
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 And you want the David in
That's
your life.
right.
Everybody's saying, I'm waiting on my Boaz. Look, that's Ruth man. Okay.
Leave my man alone.
In the Bible,
Yeah.
you cover covenant after somebody else.
That's right.
You only want somebody that's designed for you. Stop asking for your Boaz, and I'm waiting on my Boaz, and I'm waiting on my this and that, and realize that God has somebody specifically for you.
That's right.
What about for Vino?
That's right.
What about for Faith? What about for Marilyn?
That's
What about
right.
for Mr. Joe?
Yeah.
You got somebody designed for your life.
Just for us.
Yeah.
And as long as you keep looking at somebody else, you're going to continue to find, oh, I want this.
Yeah.
And I want this.
Yeah.
And this is where we mess up in our single process, is that we keep looking at other people's relationships and we factor it into our relationship.
Yeah.
And you have to process that out.
Yeah.
Use the examples of what they do, but realize that there is an anointing on uniqueness. The Bible says that
I
we
like
are
that,
fearfully
I'm telling you,
and wonderfully made.
fearfully and wonderfully made. But that's not just an individual thing, but every marriage has a specific anointing on it.
All right.
Every marriage has
It's got a grace
it's
on
got-
it.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the Bible says that how can two walk except they agree?
That's
and when
right.
you're walking in a place of grace, as the Bible says, you find favor.
Yeah.
There's a favor factor in the wife.
Everything we need.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
That's
right.
right.
Okay, now
The wives carry a favor factor
Yeah.
that just men just don't have. So when he says when you find a wife, you find a good thing and obtain a favor.
Yeah.
And God, you see how the favor comes?
The
When you find
FF, favor, factor.
favor factor.
Favor factor.
Faith factor. I like faith factor. I like
and that should help a lot of women be encouraged.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you know that I'm single for a reason.
That's
And
right.
not saying, well, God, what's taking so long?
So, Vino. Okay, you hear that? Oh, Lord.
That sound like I need to talk to you for a minute.
Really, it's not that deep, but just to kind of put the icing on the cake. So until God sends that favor for me, favor for you, Joe, Marilyn, and all of our listening audience, those who are single, should we be married already? Married to God?
Come on now.
Yes.
That's it.
We're already in a marriage relationship.
Well,
Because guess what? He takes good care of me
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
right now
Yeah.
in my singleness.
Yeah.
If you stay in God, and you don't get this from me, Joe, but if you stay in God, let me say it like this:
Okay.
when you are good and your father likes you, he'll introduce you to his daughter.
Say that again.
When you're a really good person, the father can discern you're a good person, he'll introduce you to his daughter, he'll introduce you to his husband already. Why, wouldn't it be easier to just stay in a place with God and let God say, hey, this is Joe, this is Marilyn,
Yes.
this is Faith,
That's
this
right.
is Vino, I want you to meet.
That's
And
right.
you don't have to go out literally looking.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Even the man, if he really stay in a place in God, he really don't have to look. God will open his eyes
Open
to
his
you.
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where we mess up at. We start looking. Is this the one? Is this the one? And God says, you ain't got to do nothing different.
Right.
No
Yeah.
journey
That's
of finding the right one. Just
Yeah.
stay in your single place. Because everything about you, he'll begin to change.
Ooh, we got
All
a
right,
call.
we got a
Okay, y'all, we got a caller. Go ahead.
All right, guys, we got a caller here.
Hello.
Go ahead and speak, guys.
Hello.
Hello, caller.
Okay, we turning you up. Gotcha.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Who is it?
You sound like a Richard Calloway to you, right?
It sounds like who?
It sounds like a what?
It sounds like this is Richard Calloway from Tyra.
Hey, Rayford! Speak to us, Rayford. We're good. How are you?
Good.
Oh, I'm doing fine. I feel blessed. You know, you ever talking about, I saw your little deal on Facebook where you have a live show, and I clicked on it just a few minutes ago. I heard you talking about relationships. And of course, I have a little comment about that. I just ended a 5-year relationship where you have a person, what it is people are growing up in dysfunctional families, and when they get older, you know, like you married 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, but the common denominator of that individual. And what I find is that a lot of times, I know other gentlemen going through this problem too, instead of talking in discussion with their significant other, they're talking to other people. And so the one-time situation, especially in a church environment, I think that's so inappropriate. If your church body, and they have members of the church, there's some kind of problem. If you're such a Christian, you'll see, instead of sticking your nose in their business and making comments and believe everything they're saying, it's perfectly friends with the individual who's your party, is to talk with them. Instead of allowing them to spread negative things about you and people eating up and running with it and looking at you crazy when they don't know the full story of what's going on in a relationship. But I find a lot of things that, and it can be for men too, but I just had a lot of men that I have dated opposite to me right now that's in his 70s where they have disagreements and stuff, but you can't fix what's broken from childhood.
Yeah.
Either the dad did something to them, or some man did something, or past relationships did something to them. So when you get somebody who have their own, a home or whatever, and taking care of them, they're having a lot of spiritual and mental abuse. And those are things that we need to look at as far as in today's time. And then a lot of women saw my Erica, I do bag rating.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys with baggage too.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
And marriage counselor, they can probably get that. But you can't be brainwashed from her towards everybody else, and not deal with that significant other, because that's where the problem lies. Until we decide and to deal with the PTSD from childhood stuff as well as adult stuff, then I think that's how we can mend relationships and keeping those who are naysayers out of your business. And of course, that individual is fault for going out spreading things. So when you are in a relationship, respect your relationship.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people being used and abused, and that is spiritually and mental abuse, especially in a church environment. That's sad. So I just wanted to bring that out and everything because it happened to me, and it's sad. It's sad. And people call themselves Christians and everything, your friends or brotherhood, and they're looking at you crazy, and they're one of the reasons why making comments because some things got back to me. So other than that, to God be the glory. We got to keep it up and keep it moving and praise God, and just ask God for His hand protection. But the next time, I'm not a bitter man by no means, because if God has someone for you, I know it will be for me or yourself or anybody else who are in terrible relationships. But I thought it was my time at the time, but as a judge, I could be wrong. But just be careful of the people with baggage, and I'm talking about women on, I'm talking about men too.
Yeah.
But I was able to get rid with my baggage and got rid of it because I didn't want to bring it into a new relationship.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw it out there. Y'all be blessed and have an awesome show.
Amen. Thank you, Rayford. We really appreciate it. Well, I think Rayford brought up some good points here to where he brought up some good points about communication. I heard a lot of things, and I know we probably all picked up something different from it, but I think communication is key, and especially at our age, those of us that are in the maybe late 50s, or late 40s, or late 50s, 60s, whatever range, we're gonna notice that there's been a lot of factors that have come into our lives, that sometimes we need to be washed from, we need to be cleansed from, and when you enter into a relationship, you have to understand that that's going to be a part of that process. And it's good if you are part of a local body to where you're already close to your pastor, and you guys, have that. That's why it's good to have that kind of relationship. So when you have those different struggles or whatever going on, that you can actually set up time to where you can go talk to your pastor and maybe ask them, what their thoughts are about these different things. The Bible says that it's about wisdom. I can't think of it. Anyway, whatever it is, it's about just seeking wisdom about different. There's safety in counsel. There's safety in counsel. So a lot of times we will avoid the baggage of hurt that comes in, because we already got enough stuff like that bag woman. We don't want the baggage of hurt going with us, and then we got to get washed again before we can actually get into a new relationship. We can stop that by having that safe counsel. I think another thing, Rayford, that could take place also, anytime you have a desire for something new in your life, I think everybody needs to have a lifeline that they can go to about things. I'm learning in my journey, you don't have to hide everything. You need to ask God to send people into your life that can help you through some of those journeys, and then before things get rough, that you can have someone that you can actually talk to. So, and I do think that it's best for people to stay in their lanes with other people's relationships, because it's kind of unfair because people can, throw things out there that may not be true. But at the same time, don't feel like Faith said, quit taking it personal with things like that, because people have their right to their perception and their opinion. Right. It doesn't have to make it right or anything.
I was just thinking about when I stepped out the room, what about a topic of those of us who are single, and you bring your children? How do you deal with your children when you're in a relationship? You bring them into the relationship, you try to blend the family together, and what if things don't work? That's why it's so important that we need to be sure of who we're dealing with, because those influences could really be detrimental if they're not the right one, or they're not sowing the right seeds, or they're not pouring in the right love.
That's right.
Or abusive.
Because it can be conflicting.
Yeah.
It can be very conflictive. And the one thing that we do in relationships a lot of times is we factor in one another, but we don't ever factor in the children.
Exactly.
It's like we live in a fantasy world.
That's right.
Until we realize, okay, well, I got kids and you got kids, and she just got a newborn, or he got one that's in college, and you don't really factor in, well, what if I like the person, but what if the kids don't like it?
That's right.
How do you
deal with that? I think that's a good topic that we can kind of consider at some point in the dating process as well. Mr. Joe?
And I was thinking too, that's why the relationship needs to be a slow process.
That's right.
Don't get in a hurry. You got to get to know that individual before you bring your kids into the situation.
Yeah.
Right.
So you got to spend some time there on that, and not, make sure this person is going to be good for you.
Yeah.
And if they're good for you and have a heart for you, then they have a heart for your kids.
Yeah.
But you can't. I mean, it's times when people put outside people above their kids, and I was like, that is one of the worst things you can ever do. That you put a man before your kids.
All woman.
For
your children.
That's right.
The message you think you send to your kids.
That's right.
Yeah, and even if you're divorced, and then someone goes or comes into your spouse's or ex-spouse's life, it could be a situation where they're not inclusive, or they don't tell their new person that they're in a relationship with that they have children.
People still do that.
Are people still people?
Yeah. Because of their kids' character. Because the first time, if you got bad kids, well, not necessarily, you got baby kids, and you haven't trained them in anything, I'm telling you, ladies, that if most men, if they see that, and they see that your kids don't respect you, it's in the back of their mind. Maybe they might have some other false intentions, but in the back of their mind, they thinking, man, if them kids come up to me, they're going to come up a limb short. They're going to walk over, but they limping back. You know what I'm saying? Because they consider that, okay, I got to be in the house with you, and I got to be in the house with your kids.
And I got to take care of your kids.
Yeah. And if I got a kid saying, you ain't my daddy.
Ain't that the truth?
How do you handle that?
How do you do that? Yeah, so I think that even in that dating, or even beginning what you call courtship. And even if you bring that person in your home, in your family life, you got to put some ground rules on the table, I think, before you start doing that, like baby kids, like baby.
It's a true process, y'all, to transition from a single place to a married place. Because like you said, I believe you said, Marilyn, was it, Mr. Joe said that a lot of times we get into a relationship, but our mind hasn't transitioned into being with somebody, because we're so used to doing it all by ourselves for so long. And that's a process if you're a lady, it's a process to let a man lead.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you've been leading for so long.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
Leading
process.
and
Yeah,
wounded.
Yeah, and if you're a man, it's a process in becoming more compassionate, opening yourself up more. And everything is a process in that single. But coming back to what we're talking about on today, y'all, it's all about how you perceive the process.
That's right.
Do we have a calling?
Not yet.
Come on, Phil.
Y'all don't be afraid to call it, because I know y'all are thinking about some things. So
Yeah, come
feel
on,
free.
let us know what you think, because we just don't want to talk.
Post that number
We
out
want you
there
to come
again.
in and relate to us.
That's
We want
right.
to know what's going on in your mind.
Mr. Joe, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, man. This is cool. I'm telling you, Mr. Joe is always super cool, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you this. What do you think has been the most interesting thing that you found in your single place right now?
What's the interesting thing? That's a good question. Well, I think a lot of it is, I think, first of all, and let me just back up for a minute. I think a woman wants a man to be a man. I think by the way he carries himself, what comes out of him. I think Marilyn said it best. If a woman is spiritually grounded, she loves a spiritually grounded man. I said, well, how do you know? It precedes him. And then when he opens his mouth, what comes out? Is it delicate? Is it uplifting? Is it the things of God? I mean, is he living opposite of what he professed? So you can live opposite what you profess, but you can't live opposite of what you believe. Because ultimately what you believe is going to serve you.
That's what's going to serve.
So
Yeah.
what I'm saying in that, I think is, if I'm answering this correct, now we know, it's being the best I can be. Being the best person everywhere you go. Everywhere you go.
Yeah.
You take Jesus with you. As a matter of fact, when you show up, Jesus show up.
Yeah.
It's the Jesus in you. And that's everywhere you walk. We're supposed to be the hand and feet of Christ. Since he's no longer here.
That's right.
We are the vessel. So when you walk like that, and I think everything else really don't matter, because what really matters, I think, in anybody's situation that's single, they need to have that relationship with God first and foremost. I mean, that's so important, because that's where the change happens.
Yes, sir.
If you don't have that, then you're not going to have what you need. It's got to change in the face of God continuously, and you turn into your first love.
Right.
When you got the first love under your belt, everything else falls in place.
Oh. Amen.
Everything. Yes.
Everything.
And I think that is one thing, is ending that up. Raise your bar in that area.
Yeah.
Continuously.
And I think it's I don't know about guys, but for women, I know me, a man that loves God is attractive to me. Doesn't have anything to do with how he looks.
Right. Right. His
But
heart.
when he loves God,
Yes.
when he opens up his mouth,
Yes.
it's like it's speaking to a depth. I mean, down on the inside of you, and that's what makes a woman fall in love with you.
But she has
Not your money,
That's right.
No.
but the money does come with it. Ain't no brokenness in God. But it's something about the attraction that's there. And I'm saying that also to men that may have had a lot of rejection in their lives from women, that because we talk a lot about the things that women go through, but men go through rejection also because they run into a lot of the wrong women as well. But when you find yourself really, really being so in love with God, that's what matters to you. It helps you to know how to respond to her and how to meet her needs, and because you've learned how to meet the needs of God, and if you just stay in your lane, she will notice you. I guarantee, because that's what she's looking for. She's looking for that one that's really looking for the heartbeat of God. She's looking for you to be in your proper place, not at the clubs, not, hanging out, all these other different places or whatever. Be in your place, serving, but don't be there all day long.
That's okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because, I hear different testimonies with men, and I think some of them may, and I'm not saying this is always the case, but some of them are in their latter years, and it's like they spent their beginning years doing whatever they wanted to do, and now they're so head over heels with God. They say they want a relationship, but they don't take out the time for the relationship, So you have to be able to make some wiggle room for things. I think that's where we can go with the conversation also. What about this space that we're making for people to come into our lives? Are we really making room for whatever it is, whether it be your business, a mate, or whatever?
Can I just interject something? We just had a comment that says it's kind of hard for married people to call in and chime in the conversation because we're just dealing with singles. But I think married folk, you can give us some good
pointers.
Advice.
Yeah.
So come on and dial in.
Yeah. Don't be scared.
431-5062.
We'd love to hear from you guys.
Come on, I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
I know you got a
Because
lot
you
of
were
wisdom.
once single.
Come on.
Yeah.
And so that if you married, and you especially
There
if
we
you've
go.
been married a while.
Okay,
well,
all right.
All right, guys, we got a caller that's calling in.
Hello,
Hello.
caller. Who is on the line?
Hi.
We're good.
Hi, I do have a question
Okay.
regarding, and this may be kind of opposite extreme, kind of what's been addressed, because what you guys are talking about is really, really needed for singles. How do you address, if you are a person who is in a place of singleness, and you are confident in your single place, you're okay. How do you deal with people, per se, that are in the church that look at you as though you're different because you're comfortable in your single place? Oh, you don't have a husband. Oh, it feels so. Not so much we feel so sorry for you, but how do you deal with that? Because if I am in a place of singleness and I'm good with that, then how do I deal with the other side of it? Or how does an individual deal with that?
We're going to turn this one over to Mr. Joe.
Mr. Joe, Dr. Williams, come on in.
Well, I mean, you're comfortable in who you are, correct?
Correct.
When you're comfortable in who you are, I mean, I personally, I wouldn't think, well, people say anything. If you're comfortable in who you are, it doesn't really matter what they say. Because you're your own person. That the person that will come to you because you're ready. It's just a matter of that person haven't come yet. It's still in the process. You waiting up on it. You waiting up on the Lord. The Lord said, wait up on it, and that's what you're doing. And I think a lot of people that saying those things to you, that's judging you. They don't have the right to judge you because again, if you're waiting, you're not in a hurry. You are developing yourself, and you are getting ready for that person. But it's all in due season.
Yeah.
And with due season, you turn your life over to the Lord, and the Lord will put that right person in front of you.
Yeah.
Amen.
And I think that's where you need to be. The naysayers and all the people that's talking, I think you ignore them, and you keep living your life because you're doing the right thing. And just wait.
I want to chime in on that one as well. I think sometimes when you are, it sounds like you're possibly serving in ministry and possibly in that place where you are, doing what it takes to please God right now. I think a lot of times we become the examples to those that don't know how to wait.
That's right.
And so many times being the example causes other people that are not waiting to judge.
That's right.
Yes.
And they judge what they don't understand.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
it's a place where you have to be, as the Bible says, steadfast,
Yes.
unmovable,
That's right.
always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is
Right.
never going to be in vain.
Right.
Because eventually, when your wait is over, those same ones that are talking
Come on.
are going to get a chance to see what your waiting was all about.
That's right.
So we don't always give the attention to others that, oh, you know, they're making comments or whatever the case may be. And we're human, you know,
we are.
we feel what the people feel or whatever, but you have to know without a shadow of a doubt what you're waiting on and why you're waiting,
That's
you know, and be that living example, because it may be some little girl that's watching
Yes,
you.
yes.
It may be just, you know, it may be, and more than anything, God is watching you to see if you're really ready for what he has in mind, because that man that's coming for you, he's watching you too.
Oh, absolutely.
He may not be saying a word right now, but he's
Right.
watching
He's
you
watching
too.
you.
And you know, Marilyn, and you
Yeah.
know, a lot of times when people see you're in such a good flow and you're single, they say you're just too good.
Yeah.
You're too good of a person. You should have somebody.
Yeah.
And they see that you're in a good flow place. And sometimes that is another offset of when you're supposed to be with somebody. You shouldn't have to go through this alone.
They
And you
rush you.
Yeah, you're like, I'm
Yeah.
fine where I am, you know. And I guess because they in themselves
Right.
can't see themselves as being
Doing
alone.
that,
And you know, they're ready to, they try and live vicariously through you,
Yeah.
if you will, and say, you should be with somebody. Don't
Yes.
force nobody on me,
That's
because
right.
I'm living my life, and you see me in a Bora Bora, and you see me over here in Acapulco Beach, and I'm taking selfies of myself, sipping on pina colada or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and enjoying life, and you think that, that's just a mask. See, people's
Yeah, people
perception,
sure do.
Yeah.
people's perception, their perception of you and what they want you to be can be on them so much, and they'll look at you in church, and you'll just be in a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just think, well, you
They just don't get it.
They don't get it because their inadequacies
That's
of
right.
life.
That's right.
And if you allow somebody else's inadequacies
Yeah.
to filter into your completeness,
Yeah.
then you'll be like, well, maybe I do need somebody.
You start
And
thinking about yourself.
Or they start calling you what? Gay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right, right.
You're homosexual, you know, because
You've
you don't
been
have,
hurt.
You've been hurt, yeah.
And they
And we all been hurting some
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of
And they
way.
try to make it look like your hurt was so bad that you bitter, and that's the reason why
Yeah.
you single.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's not always the case.
And I
sister?
think too.
Oh. Go ahead, Joe.
I would think too, if the people that are coming to you are so spiritually grounded, then they can understand that you're spiritually grounded, and they would uplift you rather
Yeah.
than say negative things.
Amen.
Maybe theirs ain't that great.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to watch people. It's an old
Right.
saying: you watch a dog to bring bone care about.
Yeah, yeah.
You have
yeah.
to watch these, and sometimes people's true colors come out.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's just you have to just kind of be satisfied with where you are,
Yeah.
and know that you're on the right track
Exactly.
or the right path, however you want to put it. Yeah.
My
Have we-
sister,
yeah.
I just want to say to you that I commend you for coming on the line, number one, and sharing your
Yeah.
heart. You know, sometimes some of our closest friends, or even church sisters and brothers, sometimes they are insecure about where they are in their walk. And so, and I think this kind of sums up everything what everybody else was saying here in the room, is that, you know, you're a confident woman of God.
That's right.
And so you have an anointing on your life, an anointing in the position that you're in. So while the anointing is on your life, you're emulating what Christ has put in you. So therefore, I want you to shine. I want you to glow. I want
Yeah.
you to be who you are, who God has called you to be. And if those ladies or whomever are sisters in the Lord that are coming to you or are pushing you in that direction, if they're single, then maybe you should start a little group,
Yeah.
a little singles group,
Yeah.
and
Be
say,
an
hey, I'm
example.
going to show you how to walk it out and be happy
Exactly.
until your mate comes, if your mate comes. But if he doesn't show up, guess what? You married to God, and that's a good thing. He won't turn you away. He won't abuse you,
Yeah.
and he definitely won't divorce you.
All right, all right. All right. Does that answer your calls? Answer a little bit?
It did. Very helpful. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank
we
you for
love
calling.
you.
We
Call back
Thank you for
again.
calling.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
moments like that when we start thinking about, because when I thought about her, it kind of took me back to my days of, I've been single more than anything in life. We got another caller calling
Okay,
in.
come on in,
No,
caller.
come in.
Call if you just hold just 1 second. We got you on, but I remember during those times it wasn't easy to walk it out. But what kept me focused was I was on assignment,
That's
and I couldn't
Right.
abort the assignment
right,
trying to
right.
put my eyes on somebody
Right,
else.
Yeah,
right,
amen.
right.
That's
All
right.
right, caller, did you hang up on us? You can call back.
Yeah, call back
Call
in.
back,
All right.
please.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, they're on. All right, you can go ahead and speak.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
What's your name?
Hi, this is Cynthia Diggs calling in.
Well, hello,
Hello.
Cindy. We're so happy. We're so happy to have you on.
Hello, everyone. How are you this beautiful Saturday afternoon?
We are
Yeah.
great. We are great. We are
Working on
great.
great.
Hey everyone, this is Cynthia Diggs on the line, and she will be coming on next week. She's going to be our guest.
Yeah.
And we just wanted her to come in the room, come in our living room, and just talk to us about singleness, because that is her heartbeat.
Amen.
Cindy, can you just share with us a little bit?
Listen, let me tell you something. That's my passion. I can only talk about what I've lived. You can't teach what you have not lived,
Yeah.
which is an excerpt from my book. I have been celibate for 18 years of my life. Lord help me, Jesus.
Come
Come on, help us, Lord.
I am doing it according to the Word of God, and I'm very realistic about the things that I've endured as a single woman, my career goals, education, the struggles that I've had to endure, whether it was in the secular world or since I have become saved. The struggle is real, but there are remedies to living a purposeful and a good single life where you're not walking around with your head down.
Yes.
I live a wholesome life, and I want to be able to share that with other singles as well as express the life that God has given me and answer any questions that anyone may have, because it's not easy for everyone. We don't all take the same route,
Yeah.
but it is attainable if you make sure that you set the right goals and
That's
that
right.
you have your affection set in the correct way.
Yes.
You know what, Miss Cindy, one of the things that I always think about is there is a balance between longing and contentment. There are things
Yes,
that we
ma'am.
long for in life, and then learning how to be content in the state that we're in. And sometimes they kind of cross one another, because we don't know if we need to be content or longing or keep. We don't know what we should be doing.
Yes.
So what do you think about that?
I think that you are absolutely right, and you're in the Holy Ghost, because one of my t-shirts that I have designed from my singles conference that I did last year is content. And the 3 points that I drive are no complaining, no comparing, and no compromising.
Oh, say it again, Miss Cindy.
Say it one more time.
Say it one more time, sister.
I'm getting excited. From the Word of God in Philippians 4:11, where the Apostle Paul talks about whatever state I find myself in, I've learned to be content.
Yeah, that's right.
And that is
That's right.
what we have to learn as we are living the single years, that we have to learn to be content, not comparing our lives to anyone
That's
else,
right.
not complaining about the life that we're living right now, and not compromising in order to have a life that we think we want just because it looks better on the other side.
Ooh, I like that. I like
Oh,
that.
Marilyn, I know you want to be here.
You know I want to be here, but y'all, Mrs. Cindy is going to be coming in to really take my place on next week as I celebrate.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Well, we're going to dialogue together, but I get really excited whenever there's a topic that I've lived and that I know about. So I thank you for the invitation, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes, ma'am. Well, y'all, Mrs. Cindy's going to be, I'm going to be out next week celebrating my 53rd birthday. Wow. So,
All right. Looking great.
And I I feel good at 53.
Come on now.
You know,
You look good too, man.
thank you.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to tune in to Miss Cindy. I want to hear all about it. I may just sit in the background and just listen and just, you know, just pull it all in, because, you know, every now and then we need a little bit more feeding to add to what we already have. And I'm really excited about having you on the show. So thank you for accepting the invitation. We definitely appreciate that. So,
And share it.
Saturday next week. I think God's blessings over you guys' life this weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on next Saturday.
amen.
All right, thank you
so much,
for
Miss
calling.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Well, guys,
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
we are coming up on the ending of this. These 2 hours go by so
I
fast.
mean, like
Yeah, so fast. But today has really been really great. You know, just listening to the heart. Y'all, believe it or not, we're getting to know one another too. You know,
yeah.
every
Even
time
more.
we speak, we're like, I didn't know that about you, or you know, we get a chance to hear the spirit of the matter more than anything else, and it helps us to work with one another better, to understand each other. So we always try to lead. I know, Alvina. Alvina, do you know we love you so much?
Yeah, we love you.
And we appreciate you being here
You're
today.
not gonna make me cry.
We're not going to make you
You're gonna
cry.
make me cry where everybody can't see it.
But we really appreciate
Yes,
you
I love
being
y'all.
here with
Love
us
you too,
today. Your spirit, it does set another tone, you
Oh,
know.
absolutely,
And I want you to always know that your life has meaning, Alvino.
Oh, yes.
Your labor, I'm not going to make you cry, but your labor has not been in vain.
That's right.
And I know you pour out a whole lot to a lot of people.
Yes, he does.
And I really believe that God is going to give you beauty for ashes.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. He's coming back to give you everything that you have poured out to others, especially the women that you pour out to. You've kind of been covering over a lot of women over the years. I remember some years ago, I used to listen, you didn't know it, but I used to listen to your call. I think this was back in 2014. I would be on a call with Mrs. Felicia Lee. And she would always tell me, my brother Bino, she called him Bino. My brother Bino is going to be on this call. And then when I would listen to him, he would literally captivate you with his words. So, y'all, we got another caller. Y'all want to take?
Okay, let's take
Okay,
it.
hold on.
I love callers. Come on, caller.
All right,
Your
caller,
name,
we're
please?
here.
Oh, hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Hello.
Hey, who is this?
How are y'all doing? Can y'all hear me?
We're
Yeah,
good.
real good.
This is Apostle Ray Wilkerson.
How you doing?
I have been trying to get through, but since it's almost over, I guess I'll call in next week. Because I wanted to call in earlier and I typed in a post, it's hard for a married person to call in because we're coming from a different perspective than a single person. But I think that can help too. I just want to say real quick, when we talk about a man who finds a wife finds a good thing, obtains favor, and you look at that word find, in Hebrew it means to find and obtain.
Yeah.
So what happens when people who are not saved or young in the Lord, it's hard for a man to find a wife because we don't understand Proverbs 31, not actually about the woman, but the mother telling the son
That's right.
who to look for the woman.
That's
So
right.
because I didn't have that insight. I'm on my third wife. My two wives previously passed away, so I outlived two wives. But I didn't have that insight, understanding of what to look for, based on what the Word said. Even when I stepped into that marriage, a lot of things I didn't know because I came from a background of growing up in the project, sensitive, all those things. So it's a process of learning, and a lot of times if we're looking for that perfection in that person, it's not there. It wasn't there in me. So when we talk about the Bible perfecting, we mature. We men, we have to mature. It takes us a little longer to mature than women, and that's just typical. But I think when we understand those things, I think when we understand bringing children into relationships, that there's two different types of cultures. You have a grandmother on one side, a grandmother on the other side, a grandfather on this. You're bringing in like 4 to 6 cultures in one family. And that
very hard of me to teach about that. But I just wanted to put my 2 cents in there. But y'all are doing such a great job. I just love it. I have not missed the show. I am your #1 fan.
Yes, thank you.
So y'all need to say, how you doing, Apostle Ray, every Saturday.
We sure will. Thank you so much. And we look forward to hearing from you again.
Thank
I'll see
you.
y'all later. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you
Okay,
so much.
thank you. Thank
All
you
right,
so
guys.
much.
Well, guys, as you know, we are definitely what we call a family affair, and we are really striving to meet the needs of families by any means necessary. I know the month of August we're dedicating it to our singles, but September, guys, we are bringing in our youth factor.
Yes.
We've got to target our children and see what's going on in the households, see what's going on in their lives, and we have some great guests that's going to be joining us. So y'all better tune in every week. It's going to get gooder and gooder and gooder and gooder. It's going to get better. So we appreciate it. Well, guys, either one of you have any final words that you want to leave with our audience tonight?
I just want to congratulate all of the students who will be starting school on Monday, and some of them have already started.
Yes.
I know Keller started on Wednesday, but I have a call with my grandchildren. We try to do it every Saturday when we get on a conference line, and I try to teach them how to communicate effectively when you're talking with more than one person.
Yeah.
And so last week we talked about goals. What are your goals for the year?
Yes.
What are your goals for education this year?
right.
And then we got to pray together over the phone. So
Yeah.
I would just like to, I guess kind of charge all of us to pray for our children when they go to school, that they come back home and they come back home safely and they come back with the ear and the tongue of the learned because they need it. They need to know who they are, but they need to know the education and know how to communicate effectively, connecting, and they need to have that assurance about who they are as a person. There's so much bullying going on in school, and bullying each other, not really respecting who they are and their culture. And we know that it's coming from the top, from our government right now in place. Don't want to talk politics. But when that spirit is unleashed, it goes out into the atmosphere.
That's right.
And I bind the enemy right now that our children will be free this year.
Right.
With no guns and no killing.
That's right. That's right. We put that in the air.
Amen.
Mr. Alvino, I know our time is kind of cutting late. We're going to let Mr. Joe have a few words, and then we're going to ask Mr. Alvino to close us out in prayer so that we can cover our children before we leave tonight. Mr. Joe?
I just want to say that we had a great show, and we're glad that everybody joined us. We look forward to you all coming in and you coming into your homes. We would ask you to just stay close to God. That's so very, very important. And when you stand there, that improves everything. Return to our first love and stay there.
Guys, we want to leave with you to remind you that on our Facebook page, you can join us every Wednesday for our Wednesday inspiration. Mr. Alvino Bell is going to be bringing us a video just from the heart of God and just trying to keep us all encouraged and moving forward. So we invite you guys to go out and visit us on our Facebook page. It's a Family Affair IAFA radio show, and make sure you follow us so that you can get those subscriptions and get those feedings as they're coming in, and that you can make sure to join all the calls. Also, guys, if you want to learn more about us, you can go to www.mdwinnercircle.com. facebook.com, and you can go to the It's a Family Affair tab and find out who we are. So guys, we want to say thank you to each one of you. We are really, really happy to be a part of this flow of what God is doing, because I really believe that God is doing some great things in all of our lives. And we're going to get ready to leave out today on commission. 'Tis so sweet. And then we're also allowing Mr. Albino Bell to close us out in prayer before we leave on tonight.
Amen. Father, we thank you on this broadcast. We thank you for everything that was said in wisdom, words, and counsel. We thank you for every caller. We thank you for every person that's going to join in. And we thank you for everyone that's already a part of it, God. We thank you for the sponsorship of it. We thank you for the hosts that are going to connect with us, God. And we thank you most of all for that you are delighted with us, God, that you are pleased with us, God. We ask that you would continue to keep and cover this program, this broadcast, God, and many others also will indeed be a part as well, God. We bless you. We thank you for the visionary. We thank you for Mr. Williams, and we thank you for Ms. Davis. And God, we thank you. I thank you for myself, God. In this, as we cover everyone that is not falling on dry ground, we give you praise, glory, and honor. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Thank you guys for joining us today. We'll meet you back next Saturday right here on Fishbowl Radio Network in the Blue Stream. You guys be blessed.
Thank you, Facebook. We appreciate you. Thank you for sharing with us today. And we look forward to seeing you next week on It's a Family Affair. God bless you.
Y'all ready, brother?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do 4 hours so every day. I don't know how Steve Marvin them do it for 4 hours.